Hello and welcome to my channel. I'm Julie with Bookshelf by Julie. We're working on the Christmas tree today. Isn't that adorable? Okay, this is almost like doing a Christmas sampler, isn't it? Dude, you could just leave this on one piece of fabric and frame it. I mean, just say it. Anyways, we're going to be doing this one today. We've got our snowflake, our snowman, our holly berries, and today we're going to be working on our Christmas tree. Now on the Christmas tree, I used, again, the couching stitch because I can make it go on the lines where I want it to. This was a little bit of a back stitch at the bottom. And the star, I used an eyelet stitch. Do you remember that one? You can use the star stitch because, you know, it's a star. And then I used some little French knots to make my Christmas tree ornaments. Super cute. I think so. Okay, so just in case you don't remember, when we did the eyelet stitch, you can do lots of different ones. The thing is, with the eyelet stitch, you're going in and out of the same center hole, right? You can start out here or in there, but you're using the same hole for the center. So that's how we do that. Now, for the star stitch, you just cross them and cross them and cross them and, you know, like making an asterisk, however you say that. So we're going to do that. And let me get we're going to start out with green. I've got these colors as the ones I used. Green, that maroon color, I got to put some more on this bobbin. Yellow, that's a new color in for this one, but I had to do something with the star. So I went ahead and put some little French knots for ornaments, and then we use that gingerbread brown for the tree trunk. Super cute. Okay, so let's start out with our green and go from there. Once we get our couching stitch done, the tree's almost finished. I mean, really, you know, this one's really simple and it actually comes together pretty fast. So get my thread in a situation here. So I'm going to start at the very tip here. No, you know what? Before I started with the star, and I think that'll work better. Let me get my little critter over here. Because if I start with that star, then I can tuck my green up and under it. So let's start with the yellow. I'll make up my mind in a minute. So yeah, I want to start with the star. Doing the eyelet stitch again because, well, it worked really good. I like it. It works good for things like this. It keeps it simple and easy to work with. So we just have to pick our center point, is about right there. And we're going to use that for every stitch we put. And I'm just going to do the points of the star, right? That's a little off center. Let me see if I can do better on that. Maybe. I want it to be on the center, because that was a little off center. Are you serious? That was a little off center too. Oh, it's one of those days already. How do you do that, right? Because I sewed through my thread and then I sewed off center. Oh my word. I'm just batting 1,000. But we'll fix it. I do want it to be as centered as possible on that, because when you're doing the eyelet stitch, it's just better if you're in the center. I think it is anyways. So let me get rethreaded. I should have probably snipped that off. Let me do that, because they fray when you use them a minute. Even before you use them a minute, they do. Going through the fabric is a thing. Okay, now let's get closer to the center, shall we? Okay, so we've got center, center, right, See, I was right close to it, but when you put it in there, it doesn't look centered if you're not really in this. I don't know. I may be just, you know, being silly for all I know. But it's closer to the center now. So I'm just going to do every point, come in, and go right back into the center. Yeah, the center I'm calling the center. Am I tangled on the back? Because I don't want to be tangled on the back. That's not cool. Yep. Okay, let's see. Yeah, it's one of those, I mean, really. Why do we have to have Murphy so often, right? You can't see what I'm doing, but I'm detangling back in the back. Because there's a whole bunch of thread back here that doesn't need to stay back there. I don't know what it's trying to do. Okay, I'm pulling it off. It's probably not as bad as I think it is, but yeah, okay. We just do what we do, you know, and then we fix it. See where we are. I don't know. Let me fix it and I'll come right back. Okay, we're back. I didn't want to spend a whole video on a tangle. Tangles happen with thread. They you know, they just do. So yeah, we will keep control of this. If you get a tangle, just take a breath and take the time you need to fix it. Because when you're finished doing something like this, you're going to feel really good about your accomplishment and about the thing you made, right? So, yeah. And each star point, we're just coming up, and then we're going back in our same center spot. And then the next star point, right? I think the eyelet stitch works really good for this, but as I said, you could use that star stitch. And then you're just sort of making like an asterisk, however you say that. Or you can just do the 5 points, come along now, and do an eyelet stitch. It's perfect for a star. Yep, like that. Cool, huh? Okay. So instead of tying off, I'm going to just save this over here to the side. And then we'll make our baubles, our Christmas ornaments later. After we get our tree in. So yeah, I'm going to go right up in here in between my lines there, and then I'm going to start my couching stitch. Get out the way. Okay, then I'll start my couching stitch over here. I just want to make sure I'm not tangling up with my yellow, because no. Okay, now there's a lot you can do with this, but I kept it pretty simple because I think leaving those bits of plaid in there is really cute for just background color. A lot of people, when they're doing stuff like this, they'll paint. Even with acrylic paints or whatever paints, they'll do the painting and then they'll do the stitching and then they'll do different things like that. Some people use inks, but I think just printing it out on a printer just kind of makes it simple, right? So I think so. So I'm going to go up here and couch my stitches down. Just that little tacking stitch. It gives it a little bit of texture, and I don't know, I think it makes it pretty. And here we go. wants to be all funny today. It's not funny. You ever have somebody tell a joke and you say, "Oh, that's not funny. That's sad." So, you know, sorry. I'm just being silly myself now. Okay. It's a Murphy kind of morning. We can deal with it, right? I think we can. I'm just finding little places here to couch, to tack the stitch down and make it decorative at the same time, you know? Yeah, something like that. It gives the tree a lot of, I don't know, uniqueness. That's a good word for it. It gives it uniqueness. Yeah, Murphy. I think there's a piece of the fabric threads that's gotten into my thread, so we'll get rid of that. Okay, now. Oh, not down there, you silly. Okay, so I'm going to go right back in here. Couch that one. And seat it in there, and it makes it, I don't know, like I said, I think it makes it pretty. So, then this one. We just want that kind of thing going on. Okay. Now I'm going to come over here on this tip and meet up over there. Right in under that one. Yeah, it is kind of like doing a Christmas sampler, I think, now. Now that I've gotten further into the project, I thought, well, this is kind of like a, you know, doing a sampler with Christmas things. I don't know. It's cute. So I'm going to find this line and do a center stitch first so that I know it's going to be where I want it to be, and then I'll go do the others. Yep, I sure will. But this one doesn't take as long, guys. It's I think it's, so far to me, this has been the easiest one to do. I just want to go in the middle here and couch that one over here. And there we are. Okay, then I'm going to go over here and sort of pick a spot that's between this little knot here that we just put in, or the stitch, and the tip of the tree on the line. Okay. So that we've got that just sort of somewhat evenly spaced out, if that makes sense. That little critter's trying to get in my way. Okay. All right. Now we'll couch the end of this. Just tack it down. And we'll do our top one. going to go right up here and try to tuck our stitch right up in under that that tacking stitch as best as possible. Okay. Now we're going to meet back down here at this one, and we want to tuck it right up in under that one. Okay, like so. Okay. Pulling it right on down. Now, I think you'll find this one to be the easiest one too, so far. We've still got our gingerbread man and our bell to go, but we're making a beautiful piece of art here. Okay. Just go somewhere in the middle to get it tacked down, and then somewhere in the middle of the middle, right? Between that top one and here, we want to tack this down so we have sort of somewhat consistent little knots around it, or I guess stitches really, because they're not a knot. I don't know, with my thread I can get a knot. But yeah, just get a consistent spacing, sort of, you know. And then you've got the top of the tree done. Now the rest of them are really simple. You're just going to go down and do the same things we just did, only you have here to here, here to here. Same thing, use the couching stitch. You can use other stitches if you want. That's not a problem. I just don't want this to get super duper long, so I'm going to stop that one there. Just keep going down and count your stitches. Down here on the bottom, you're going to do a little bit of a back stitch because it's just a wobbly line, really. Instead of going straight across, you'll do your little bit of a back stitch. So let's do our trunk of our tree. Yeah. Then we'll get us some Christmas ornaments going on there. On this one, it's still the couching stitch. I mean, you know, I didn't do the top because I'm going to leave that for the green, right? So I'm going to go from there to there, just to make our little trunk. And I'm using the same sort of a gingerbread brown. I don't think it's called that, but I call it that, so, you know. I picked this one because it would go well with doing the gingerbread man, and so I decided to use it in all the other browns. Because, you know, I wanted some consistency in what colors I was using, so that when you put them on the tree, they do look like an actual set of something, if you put them on a tree, which I'm gonna. So, we're going to couch this end. Like so. And we got to get that top. It'll be mostly covered by the green, but that's okay. We'll put our little stitch in there anyways, because, you know, I'll know if I did it or not. So I'm gonna do it. Okay. Anyways, come along, you. Okay, now, all right, we're gonna go over here and do our other side of our trunk. Now you can do this any which way you want. You can start over here and go all the way around. You can start over there. You can start wherever you want to do it. I'm just doing it this way. So we do that. Then again, we're going to go back to somewhere in the middle there to do our stitch. Come along, you. Don't be getting all tangled on me. What in the world? Okay. All right. Come on. Okay. And then we're going to find our stitch we came in on and go back there. Okay. Couching, tacking, however you want to look at that or call it. Do this one up top this time because the bottom is what we're going to end up with, right? Okay. Do our little stitch down here. There. Okay, and then the one across the bottom. I want to just tuck my stitch up in there without splitting the other stitches. That can be a little bit of a challenge, but I want to just tuck it right up in there so that it looks like it's already couched on each end, right? It's already there. Then we'll do, that's in the way, then we'll do the little center stitch and we're done with it. Okay? Yeah. Okay. Right in here. Okay. There we go. Now we've got our trunk, and I've showed you how I'm doing that. You could do the stem stitch for the tree. You could definitely do that. Or even the back stitch would work. Lots of different things would work, okay? But I think the tacking stitch gives you more control, at least at this, and it gives you a solid coverage, okay? All right, so now we're gonna go back and get our yellow. Since we did our yellow star, I thought, why not do a yellow ornament? And I did 2 on the top tier. I did 2 on the next one, and 3 on the next one, and 4 on the next one. So we're just doing a simple one around French knot, not too close to the edge though, because yeah. Okay. And just a little simple one around. You could use the colonial stitch for this, or that little Chinese knot. You could use a lot of them. I wouldn't use the Danish knot on this, but you could use different variations of our knots that we've learned. I'm sticking with the little tiny French knot. If you don't want to do a knot, a French knot or any other knot, just sew you a little bead on there. It would be really cute. You could even, if you had some of those tiny little buttons, you could put some buttons on this. The itty bitty ones, you know. Okay, let me put that back up there. So I got my 2 yellow ones there, and let me get my red. This is still the same really dark maroon red that I've been using, over here, so that we have continuity in our colors, right? So we've got a little one around French knot here. Just super simple, super cute on this, because they're dainty, they're, what's going on under there? My threads are getting in the way of my threads. Okay, let me get these out of the way. Sorry. Okay, yeah. So yeah, they're just kind of dainty and small, which works. You could do bigger ones. You could do 2 or 3 rounds if you wanted. I just thought this would be what I wanted on this one for this ornament. These ornaments, I got 2 of them. Now you can do as many of these as you want. They're really good for practicing your stitches, and when you get them done, you've got something pretty to decorate with. Whether you're going to put them on a Christmas tree or whatever you want to do with them, you know. So we've got our eyelet stitch in, our couching stitches, little French knots, our trunk's done, and the top of our tree is done. Doesn't take long to finish this up. Super easy. You guys get on this. It's so pretty. If you feel like it, share it on my Facebook group page. I'd love to see your work. So, anyways, let me know how it's going for you. Make something pretty today. I think it's pretty. You guys take care. I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. TTFN.